How can Indian film industry bridge the gap between the success of independent films like Pebbles and Shankara's Fairies at international festivals and their limited audience reach within India? Like, what strategies could be implemented to ensure critically acclaimed movies are more accessible and appealing to the domestic audience?
That's a great question, and it's not specific to India. Just to get to the root of your question, a movie which is acknowledged critically, say particularly at a film festival, it is viewed successfully in terms of like elite or sophisticated critics. It does not play so well at home or with the masses. That is not an Indian specific problem. That is not an Indian cinema problem. That is absolutely an issue around the world where a movie that you can have a Coke and a popcorn and have fun and essentially lean back in your chair and just watch it. That's mass entertainment, and those will always be successful. And there's a place for that kind of entertainment. So how do you get that kind of, for lack of a better word, smaller story or more niche story, more independent story? How do you get those to resonate or have better distribution? Well, there are a couple things. OTT has really changed this, which is to say that if you have a really good story, it will live on. There are movies, actually there's a lot of famous examples in cinema history where sometimes, like Citizen Kane is now generally regarded one of the top movies in cinema history. It was totally bombed when it opened. Like it didn't have the mass appeal. But over the course of time, people understood its value. And now with OTT, you can look up some movie that came out 5 years ago and appreciate it, even if it wasn't appreciated at the time. So OTT, in that kind of sense of the archiving of movies, but the accessibility of them, completely changes this. That if you make a piece of quality entertainment, it will find its audience eventually. It will find its tribe. You make a movie about weddings, and there's an audience in Korea or Japan or Portugal or Argentina that loves wedding movies, and they will find your movie on Netflix or OTT or Z5 or wherever it is, and they'll go, yeah, I want to see that movie. And if it's a good movie, it will find its place over time. So that's one thing that's really changed the economics of the independent film industry. The other thing that maybe India could could do is in America, there's a very successful film festival called the Sundance Film Festival. And the Sundance Film Festival, which was started by Robert Redford, is specifically for independent films. It's kind of a launch pad for independent films. Right now, the festivals in India are very kind of like city-based. Mumbai has MAMI, and Bangalore Short Film Festival is quite popular. And there are many film festivals in India, but they're kind of very regionally focused or something like that. There might be a play for one day creating kind of a pan-Indian independent festival, a festival for the independent movies. IFFI might be a play at that, the Indian Film Festival, what is it, the Independent Film Festival in India in Goa every year, but it hasn't quite had the same traction. So the short answer is OTT will save the day for independent cinema, but it will always be a challenge. And you know what? You don't have to be successful with the masses. Like if you make a movie and it's a great movie, and you make it at enough of a budget that you can contain your costs and only 3,000 people watch it, it can still be a success because we're not going to define independent movie success by box office. That's a different game. You're trying to make a movie that stands the test of time, that 100 years later, nobody is going to know, I don't want to mention any names, but whatever movie just showed up at PVR this weekend, some mass movie, no one's going to be talking about that movie. But will they be talking about your movie? If it's a quality piece of entertainment, and can stand the test of time, that's the metric. So that's what we want to focus on.